I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. All right, so I've told you where Trump was. He was at McDonald's. And I want to tell you where Camelback ain't Black Harris was. She went to the New Birth Baptist Church, I think it's Stonehenge or Stonecrest, Georgia, down there in the Atlanta region. And what she's trying to do is she's trying to be black. And because Trump says she ain't black, Lord Jamal says she ain't black. And so now she's trying to go to the black church, and she went to the one down there in Georgia that was founded by the late Bishop Eddie Long. And before I let you hear what was said at that particular church, Bishop Eddie Long, who died of AIDS at the age of 63, founded the New Birth Baptist Church and was sued by, and I think he was sued. You can just leave that up there, Miss Cynthia. But Bishop Eddie Long was sued by 4 young men that said, and I'm looking for the article here. By 4 years, but 4 years later, scandal erupted when 4 young men who filed lawsuits accusing Bishop Long of sexual misconduct. Well, what I want to do here is that I want to show you that Camelback ain't Black Harris went to one of the most vile churches led by some of the most vile homosexual predators in American history. And she went to that church looking for an endorsement from the church that has been, if you will, the nest of 2 of the most vile preachers that have ever walked. Homosexuals too, by the way, not women lovers. These men are homosexuals and perverts. Bishop Eddie Long, who died of AIDS at the age of 63. And the article says, but 4 years later, scandal erupted when 4 young men filed lawsuits accusing Bishop Long of sexual misconduct. His lifestyle was a focal point of the suits, which accused him of persuading the men to have sexual relationship with him in exchange for trips, clothing, and cars. Now, this is where Harris was yesterday. This is the church she was in. And one of the young men, while they filed a lawsuit, testified that Bishop Long used to wear this very expensive cologne. And he'd get naked and cause that young boy to get naked and have sex with her. And the boy said he went home and all he could smell was that stinking cologne that Bishop Long wore while he had sex with him, but forced him. In fact, the young boy wasn't homosexual. The boy wasn't a homosexual. No, he was. Bishop Long just paid him money so he could do it to him. 2 of the men accused Bishop Long, an outspoken opponent of gay rights and same-sex marriage, of grooming them for sexual relationship through the church's Longfellow Youth Academy. The other 2, one who attended a satellite church in Charlotte, made similar allegations. And so Bishop Long, after he said he was going to fight, he said these men were lying on him, he was going to fight to the death. Finally settled a lawsuit, paid these men a ton of money, and then went ahead and died of AIDS. And so when he died, there was another pervert named Jamal Bryant that started a church up in Baltimore, Maryland called the Empowerment Zone Church. What a name for a church. Called it the Empowerment Zone Church. He's a pervert too. And he was at that church and alleged to have 10,000 members at this church. He's the son of Bishop Bryant and Cecilia Bryant, Bishop John Bryant of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. That's his son. And his mother is Cecilia Bryant. Anyway, this pervert started this empowerment zone. His father was a Methodist. He went out and started something altogether different. And so when Bishop Long died, this pervert, Jamal Bryant, campaigned to become the pastor of the New Birth. The New Birth has alleged to have 25,000 members. That's a lie. And the Temple Empowerment Zone Church had 10,000, so he's going to upgrade himself by 15,000 members. But the issue is that everybody knows it, that this Jamal Bryant pervert had sex with a 13-year-old girl and had sex with several underage. I mean, he's worse than R. Kelly, this boy. 13 years old. Now, a lot of people have not reported this, but everybody who's anybody knows that Jamal Bryant had sex with these 13-year-old girls. Later, his wife, her name is Gazelle or something like that. What's that? I want to let you see where Camelback ain't Black Harris was yesterday. Brian's ministry was almost destroyed after he admitted to an extramarital sexual affair while he was married to now ex-wife Gazelle Bryant, who stars on Bravo's TV Real Housewives of Potomac. Since his divorce, he was also alleged to have fathered a child with LaToya Odom. Now, I understand LaToya Odom is a person of age. Anyway, so this is where Camelback, of all the churches she could have gone to, well, this was in Georgia. She's looking to try to win the state of Georgia. But these two snakes, these two perverts, Eddie Long, what a pervert he is. And Bishop Bryant, and Jamal Bryant, what a pervert. And here is, Donald Trump ought to pick this up and report it. She went to the perverts church. And by the way, this is probably, I think even Creflo Dollar who's right down there in Georgia also. Creflo Dollar, after Bishop Eddie Long died, told them people over there, or after Bishop Eddie Long had been charged with raping 4 young men, right? Creflo Dollar, when some of the people who had integrity thought that the church was on the up and up, got ready to leave. Creflo Dollar said, don't come over here. We don't want you. That church is a hellhole. That church is the devil's nest. And that's where Harris went yesterday. Mr. Engineer, do we have any video or audio recording of that event? Where Harris went yesterday looking for votes in the pit of hell itself. Shows us something about her character. We just have that. Let's hear what this rapist of this 13-year-old girl, Jamal Bryant, 13 years old. Look at him. Mr. Engineer, roll that.
You said something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister.
Yeah. Full stop.
And Mordecai was man enough to know that in order for me to be a man, I got to know how to support a woman. Something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister. It was a sister that raised you. It was a sister that taught you how to read. It was a sister that taught you how to bathe yourself.
In the context of the vice president, were you trying to send a message?
We've got to be able to vote that misogyny is still real in our community. We've got to address it head on and not act like it doesn't exist. The reality is if black men had voted, Stacey Abrams would be a governor. And so I think that we've got to do some real redress that after racism, the biggest ill in America is sexism. And I think it's part of the responsibility of this generation to deal with it head on.
So this pervert, this Jamal Bryant pervert, and that's where Harris went, because she's just as bad. Everybody knows that woman so she's just hiding that she's worse than a wolf in sheep's clothing. But Jamal Bryant, I got a word for you. Terrence Williams got a word for you. I'm trying to figure out whether I want Terrence or Lord Jamal, who I want first. I'm going to go with Lord Jamal. Jamal Bryant, rapper Lord Jamal got to work. You up there running your mouth talking about black men don't know how to support a black woman. I mean, what? Y'all picking this up now. That ain't true. But Lord Jamal got a word for you, and so, and y'all got to connect with that pervert Jamal Bryant. Send him what Lord Jamal's had to say. Roll it, Mr. Engineer.
For anybody to say that they're voting strictly off of identity politics is ridiculous. Like, just to vote for somebody just on the basis of their skin color is ridiculous. Yeah, we got to get past that, people. I mean, just to vote for somebody just because you say she's black, and again, she's not really black. All skin folk are not kinfolk. Let me say it again. All skin folk are not kinfolk, okay? So just because a might have black skin don't mean that he thinks like you, identifies with that you identify with, none of that. So stop with this. She ain't black, okay? She's Indian. She came in as the first Southeast Asian Indian vice president. That was her accomplishment. Now all of a sudden, like Trump said, now she's black. She wants to be black. Like, yeah, now all of a sudden she's black. But she won't say that she's black, but she's sure acting black. And y'all are the ones who are saying that she's black, because she's not even saying that. So that's what's even more ridiculous. So y'all go ahead and, vote for idiotic reasons like she's black and see where that gets you. We did that already with Obama. I was guilty of that the first time around with Obama. Yeah, I voted for that fool because he was black. It was the dumbest shit I ever did. It was the dumbest shit I ever did. And I hope we would learn from like that.
Well, so send this to that pervert Jamal Bryant and to all them hypocrites in that whoremongering church, that whoremongering called the New Birth, founded by a man who died of AIDS, raped 4 young men, who took him to court and got millions of dollars out of him. In fact, let me tell you the back story on this Eddie Long raping those 4 young men. Took him to court, sued him. The lawsuit against the New Birth Church that had its own insurance liability insurance policy left the New Birth Church in a $20 million deficit. They were in debt. The $20 million when Eddie Long died, after paying off that lawsuit, he had to take $20 million. He had to sign a note of $20 million coming out of the offering basket of the New Birth Church. You can check it out. It's a record now. It's a sealed record, but I've got the information. And you can go online and get the filings, the IRS filings of the New Birth Baptist Church, and you'll discover, even when that other pervert that raped that 13-year-old girl up there in Baltimore, Maryland, Jamal Bryant, when he came to the church was $20 million in debt. How is it that a church that has 25,000 members can be $20 million in debt? Well, I can tell you how. Because it cost that church $50 million to pay off those 4 men that this pervert raped. Took them on private jets all the way, flew them down to Australia, put them up in the chicest hotel rooms in Dallas, bought them gifts, this guy bought sports cars for those boys, and they still sued him. They weren't homosexuals. He wanted them because he wanted men. I guess he's a man. He wants what a man got. But check the record, all right? And if I'm not accurate on this, then sue me of what I've said about the pervert Jamal Bryant, that 13-year-old girl he impregnated up there at the Empowerment Zone Church. That's why he left. And Eddie Long, the pervert that had sex with 4, and how God only knows how many men did not come forward because they didn't want to admit I had that Eddie Long punched me in the background. And so they didn't sue. But 4 got $50 million. If I'm wrong, sue me. That's right. All these whoremongers sitting up in the New Birth and in the Empowerment Zone Church, sue me. That's what you do. But that's where Harris went. Tells you something about her character. Tell you something about what she feels about what's authentic. She went to the New Birth Church looking for votes yesterday while Trump was at McDonald's. I'm James David Manning, everybody. What they say in the movie Guys and Dolls? So sue me. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.